Okay, well, there's the answer.
Big symphony. Roll over Beethoven, won't you play with me? And I'll never promise to be true to anyone unless it's you. Unless it's you. The day I fall in love. People all say love is wonderful. That the bells will ring, birds will sing, and skies will open. I wonder where's that great big symphony. I'll be your Beethoven. Roll over Beethoven. Come and play with me. Just an ordinary day. Started out the same old way. Then I looked into your eyes and knew today would be a first for me. A first for me. The day I fall in love. I know you'll be there. The day I fall in love. Just an ordinary day. Started out the same old way. Then I looked into your eyes and knew today would be a first for me. The day I fall in love. On the day I fall in love, sky will be a perfect blue, and I'll give my heart forevermore to someone who is just like you. The day I fall in love. People all say love is wonderful. That the bells will ring, the birds will sing, the skies will open. I wonder where's that great big symphony. Roll over Beethoven, won't you play with me?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And I welcome you to the order of events for the matriarch of the bar, the 90th birthday lecture in honor of Chief Folake Solanke SAN at 90. First and foremost, I must apologize for starting late. Mama arrived at 11:25 a.m. and she's never late to a program, and she's seated at the chairman's office. She's getting ready to come in, and before the program, she has requested that she would like to dance in with members of her family. And I think that as a 90-year-old, she is entitled to that. So while she comes in with the members of her closest family, we would be upstanding. And I can see some learned silks here and some senior members of the bar, if they would like to join her. The first 2 rows is reserved for herself and the members of her family. And then behind follow suit the members of the judiciary, the judges, and then I think sat on my left-hand side is the learned silk and the magistrates, your honors. So I have been asked by the chairman to start the program. Oh, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Delayo Adetunji Oriekun. I'm the first female vice chairman of MBA Ibadan. And I will be the anchor on behalf of the chairman of MBA Ibadan, Mr. Abiodun Eson. So we start by asking Mama's family to come in. The DJ, can we start with the music before the program officially starts? Can we all move forward so that we have a full hall, leaving the reserved? People at the back, my learned colleagues, friends, please move forward so we have a full hall. be upstanding, please? Mama is about to come in.
Jésù Kristi, mo ní pé kábíyèsí o, Hosanna o Jésù. Ẹ̀yin Jésù Kristi, Olúwa ọba ẹgbẹ́ ga. Ẹ̀yin Jésù Kristi o. Ẹ̀yin Jésù o. Ẹ̀yin Jésù. Ẹ̀yin Jésù Kristi.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to greet you again, now that Mama has danced in with members of the family. And we're about to start the program. I need to introduce myself again. My name is Delayo Adetunji Oriekun, the first female vice chairman of MBA Ibadan in 68 years. And I will be anchoring the program. Mama, it is a honor, it is a privilege. I am one of your granddaughters, and I am happy that I am witnessing this. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for everything that you have done. Thank you for the impact in lives to women, to all lawyers, and I am grateful from the bottom of my heart with your contributions to my life as a lawyer. I thank you. We're about to start the program. Can we be upstanding for the national anthem? We'll take the original lesson to come and give us the opening prayer.
Good afternoon, everybody. What I'm least suited for is what I've been called upon to do this afternoon, but I will manage. Let us pray. In Jesus' name, Father, we thank you for our gathering this afternoon. We thank you for our mama who is 90, a rare thing to find in these days. This is by your grace. We thank you and bless your holy name. Father, as we are gathered here today, gather with us. In our celebration, be with us. Come and share this occasion. And at the end of the day, let us have cause to give thanks to your holy name. For in Jesus' name we have prayed.
Thank you so much, sir. Can we all be seated? We'll take the welcome remarks, and that will be from my chairman, Mr. Olayinka Abiodun Esan.
Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you to the birthday lecture in honor of, how do I start to describe? I'll start from my grandma, the matriarch, the first. At the risk of not going in through the citation, I'll all welcome you now. And for our members that have been here for a while, will know that I graduated from holding the microphone as compared to being the chairman. I would reverse the order and recognize people that will represent us on these seats here before I go to the main welcome address by the chairman, Solanke Eson. I don't know where fake or original Eson is coming from, but I know that I will accept the junior Eson. Thank you. The representing my Lord, the Honorable Justice Emela Bimbola, and in our own right, our own Justice Yerima, the administrative judge will please come. Thank you very much. We all have the program for today, and I am delighted to invite one of the patrons of the Nigerian Bar Association Ibadan branch, the learned senior advocate of Nigeria, the prince from Kwara State. I can assure you that you'll be delighted to listen to the lecture. He's the guest lecturer for today, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, senior advocate of Nigeria. There are two other seats. The chairman of today, His Excellency Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. We are still expecting him or his representative. And now the last seat is for the chairman of the branch, either fake or original. The chairman is sitting here. Thank you very much. That will constitute the high table, people representing us today. And to my welcome remarks, I consider myself fortunate to be chairman today when the matriarch of the bar will be celebrating her 90th birthday. I would refer to her as somebody living with grace. At 90, she's still dancing. At 90, there's a new book. At 90, she's still elegantly dressed. And at 90, this year, we are in March now, she has attended all the meetings of the Nigerian Bar Association Ibadan branch 2020. In 2021, she attended 7 out of 11. Please put your hands together for the matriarch of the bar. We were at NEC, the National Executive Council meeting of the Nigerian Bar Association on Thursday last week. Unsolicited, the whole bar decided to name one of the buildings after the patron in Ibadan branch. That's my branch. That is what happened last week. In 1981, I was in primary school. In 1981, she became the first female senior advocate of Nigeria. It's by the time we go through the profile, we'll see the many firsts. I deliberately went to 81. I did not go to 70. I will not mention when she became the first female commissioner, because I'm going to say I was not born then, so I don't want people to start figuring out how old I am. So I would say she's a woman of many firsts, and she's worthy of this celebration. I welcome you all. I thank you for taking out of your time to be here, and I'm proud of her. I'm sure we all do. Thank you for coming.
Please sit here. Thank you to the chairman of the bar. We would like to invite the youngest person here, the matriarch of the bar, the 90-year-old Sweet 16, to the high table. Can we all be upstanding? As we usher her to the high table, a round of applause, please. Can we keep clapping until she gets there? You're welcome, Mama. I would like to take recognitions before we continue with the program. Okay. Yeah. We have Otumba Wole Odulate, brother to the celebrants. We would like you to come up, please. She wants you here. Mama wants you. Please watch it. Please sit here. You are just sit down, sir. Thank you. My Lord, Honorable Justice Iyabore Yerima, I would like to take recognitions. Mama, if I may go ahead to take recognitions. Thank you. I have Honorable Justice Iyabore Yerima. She is representing the CJ of Oyo State. Honorable Justice Abimbola. Thank you, my Lord, for coming. I would also take, not in any particular order, members of Mama's family. I have just introduced Otumba Wole Odulate, who is the brother to Mama. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Mrs. Yemisi Solanke Koya. That's the first child and daughter. Thank you, ma. She's a medical doctor as well as a lawyer. Mrs. Ariade Odulate is wife of Otumba Wole Odulate. Chief Femi Omololu Thomas is cousin to Mama. Thank you so much, ma, for coming. Miss Busola Solanke, thank you so much. That's the second daughter. Justice Mojisola Olatoregun, retired, adopted daughter of Mama. Thank you so much for coming. So I still have names of judges that are here. Customary Court of Appeal judges. Honorable Justice Abdul Ganiu. Thank you so much, my Lord. Honorable Justice Oyafajo. Thank you so much, my Lord. Honorable Justice O.O. Ajadi. Thank you so much, my Lord, for coming. I have names of some DCRs here present, and we will continue to update as they come up. Mrs. A.S. Oyediran, the Chief Registrar of the High Court of Justice, Ibadan. Mrs. A.O. Ogunri, DCR Probate and Community Service. Mrs. A.A.O. Lawore Akiyele, DCR Library. Mrs. Duro Sharot Tijani, DCR Family Court. I see you. Thank you for coming. Mrs. Akoni, the JSC, Secretary to the JSC. Thank you so much for coming. Mrs. R.B. Badamosi, I saw her. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Your Worship, for coming. Mrs. S.M. Akitayo, thank you so much. Mrs. M.A. Aworemi, thank you so much as well for coming. I will continue to recognize my lords of the High Court when they come in. I'm sorry, there's some, where are they? They're all here. Oh, I'm so sorry. I haven't been given the names and I can't. I'll just run through all the lists with me. Justice Olagunju, Justice Emi Adegbola, Justice J. Bolagunte, Justice O. Aiki, Justice A.L. Akintola, Justice M.O. Ishola, Justice Olatunji, Justice G.A. Sumonu, Justice O.M. Fadeyi, Justice E.O. Ajayi, Justice M.L. Owolabi, Justice Taiwo B.A. Taiwo, Honorable Justice Bolaji, Honorable Justice K. Olawoyin, Honorable Justice Sule, Honorable Justice Adeyemi, Honorable Justice L.A. Ganiu, thank you so much, my Lord, for coming. Honorable Justice Adeyo, Honorable Justice Lajide, Honorable Justice Adetujoye, Honorable Justice Shegun Olakojo, Honorable Justice E.A. Taiwo, and Honorable Justice K.A. Adedokun. Thank you so much, my Lord, for taking out of your busy schedule to be here to celebrate with Mama. Thank you so much. So we'll go on to the goodwill message. We're still expecting the chairman of the occasion, Arakunri Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, SAN. I can also see some SANs in front. I do apologize. Professor Mrs. Bangboshe Oluwayemisi, she's in front, and she's the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Women Forum, of which I am the state lead for your state. Thank you. Lanet Silk, Biola Olagunju, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much, sir. I will take all the other, the senior lawyers I can see from here. I will get a list and then do the recognitions again. Thank you so much, everyone. We would like to go into the goodwill messages. And Tolu Aderemi, you have a goodwill message from the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Olumide Akpata. So we'll take that first.
The chairman of today's occasion, His Excellency Arakunri Rotimi Akeredolu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria in absentia. My Lord, Honorable Justice Yerima, ably representing my Lord, the Chief Judge of Oyo State. My very dear uncle, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and Chief Odulate. Deliberately, I left the celebrant for the last because she's the honoree for today. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I bear special greetings in particular to our lovely mother, our lovely grandmother, Chief Folake Solanke, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who turns 90, I beg your pardon. Well, forgive me, because the more I look at her, the more she looks like 40 to me, who turns 90 in a couple of days. I beg greetings from the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Olumide Akwata Esquire, who's asked that I tell you specially that he sends his apologies that he's not able to be here personally. He would have loved to do so, but because of a number of things which I think he may have mentioned to you by himself. But he did say I should tell you two things. One, that on the 29th, he's going to be physically here. The Nigerian Bar Association is organizing a 2022 Legal Education Summit, which is hosted, or is going to be hosted by Are Afe Babalola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, in Ado Ekiti. So he's going to arrive at Ado Ekiti on the 28th, and then he will leave Ado on the 29th morning, drive down here, and then when they finish the event, he says he's going to take a number of people, including those that are thinking of joining us via Zoom, and I'm sure they know who they are, and then they'll come back and join us. Secondly, ma'am, he says I should tell you that God will grant you long life, even at 90. But he's qualified it that in addition to that, he will grant you good health. God bless you, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. We'll take Mama's first daughter, the goodwill message on behalf of the members of the family, Dr. Yemisi Solanke Koya.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the Masane, Alabukun, Odulate, and Solanke families, and with the kind permission of the celebrant, I deliver this goodwill message. We are grateful to God for this grand occasion that God has given us the opportunity. Can you hear me? Yes. God has given us the opportunity to celebrate in grand style the birthday of our mother, Chief, and in Yoruba culture we don't mention the name of our mothers and fathers, Chief Solanke S.A.N., for turning marvelously and majestically 90. It is a rare and special thing to see a young woman continue to be young, never aging, but continuing to be radiant, continuing to be glorious, continuing to be inspirational. And with the message of inspiration and goodwill, this is what I say. As you have inspired many, I pray that the Almighty God inspire you with continued wisdom, that which is Solomonic, to be able to navigate the shores of life continuously as you've done, with elegance and grace, to continue to inspire not only men, but women, because of the gender discrimination that women do face, so that women also see what can be acquired and attained in life. We continue to do this, so we are grateful to God. May God bless you, may God keep you, and may God elongate your life into the shores of Methuselah with, yes, definitely, with longevity in good health, surrounded by the cherished admiration of all and sundry. And to the NBA, I bid you a most special gratitude. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I will quickly take the recognitions. Honorable Justice R.B. Akintola Thank you so much, my Lord, for coming. Honorable Justice Ishola, thank you so much. Honorable Justice Adeyemi, I missed you. Thank you. Honorable Justice Ganiu, thank you, my Lord. I have some very senior members of the bar that has come in, and I will quickly take the recognitions. Pastor A. Ogwole, S.A.N. Thank you so much. N.O. Oke, S.A.N. Mr. Wole Eson, that's the original Eson. Thank you so much for coming. Honorable Justice Ishola, I saw him now. Thank you, my Lord. Thank you for coming. Mr. Wole Aino, he's the former chairman, MBA Ibadan. Can we do better? Thank you. Chief Adeniran Adetoye, thank you so much, sir, for coming. Baba Fashomo Falola, thank you so much, Baba, for coming. Mr. Bamidele Akimusuti, I saw him somewhere now. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Super D, Mr. Bamidele Abolarin, senior member of the bar. Oh, that's him at the back. Thank you so much. Mrs. Folake Ogundele, thank you so much for coming. I will continue to take the recognitions as soon as other people come in. We'll go on with the program. So we would like goodwill messages from guests. If we can start from the Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Where's Baba Fagin? Prince Latif Fagbemi, SAN. I understand he stepped out. So we'll go on, and as soon as he comes in, then we will take his goodwill message. We're still expecting Arakunri to come in, or his representative. Okay. Professor Akintayo, the past chairman of MBA Ibadan. Thank you, Oga. Thank you so much for coming. While we're waiting, we need to hear from Mama's adopted son, and that is Prince Latif Fagbemi, to give us his goodwill message. I can't call anybody else if the Senior Advocate of Nigeria has not spoken, and I understand he's about to walk in. So we'll wait. Yes, he's coming in. Mr. Adegbite Adeshino, the past National Welfare Secretary, I saw him somewhere as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Adegbite, for coming. But Mama's adopted son is just walking in, and he's going to give us his goodwill message on behalf of the Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
The chairman, distinguished members of this side of the divide, our Mama, my noble lords, members of Mama's family, distinguished senior advocates of Nigeria, my learned friends, the magistrates, the registrars, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great honor and privilege to be here to see the 40-year-old lady that my brother described a while ago. Even though Mama is 90, she looks 40. Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ ká rí yín pẹ́ màmá. On behalf of all the senior advocates of Nigeria in Oyo State, I say happy birthday to you and wish you good health, God guidance, and more contributions from you to the bar, to the country, and to the continent. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Lanet Silk. Okay, we're going into the program per se. The citation of the celebrant, Chief Folake Solanke, SAN. We would like the birthday celebrant to be seated. So, it's in the book. I will briefly take it so that everybody else can hear if you haven't read. Chief Folake Solanke, SAN, was born in Abeokuta in the present-day Ogun State on the 29th of March 1932. Her father, the well-known Pa Jacob Odulate, founder, proprietor of the famous Alabukun powder. Her mother was Madam Shekumade Abiodun Odulate, who died when Folake was just 2 years old. Mama Solanke attended Agoko Infant School, Abeokuta, from 1937 to 1939. Emo Girls Grammar School, Abeokuta, from 1940 to 1944. And the Methodist Girls High School, Yaba, Lagos, from 1945 to 1949. Her young formative years did indeed point to a bright future, as her natural brilliance and talents were copiously displayed throughout her career in MGHS. She consistently took the first prize in English and mathematics. In 1949, she became games captain, as well as school prefect, and at the West African School Certificate examinations held that year, she became the first student of the school to obtain a grade 1. In 1950, she did a 1-year higher course in Queen's College, then in Onikon, Lagos, before proceeding to England for her post-basic education. In 1951, she gained admission into the King's College in the University of Durham, now the University of Newcastle in England, where she obtained her BA Second Division in Latin and Mathematics in 1954. She obtained the Diploma in Education Second Division in 1955, thus setting herself a teaching career. She joined Piper's Corner School, the Great Kings Hill High School, Wickham, Buckinghamshire, England, where she taught Latin and mathematics from 1955 to 1957. She later moved to St. Monica's School, England, to teach the same subjects from 1957 to 1958. In 1960, she was admitted into the Gray's Inn, London, for her professional training and was called to the bar in 1962. Upon returning to Nigeria from England in 1962, the celebrant joined the chambers of M.A. Odesoya in Lagos from August 1962 to May 1963, from which she moved to the chambers of Chief F.R.A. Williams in Ibadan as a junior counsel in 1963. In 1966, Chief Solanke set up her law firm, Alabukun Chambers, while in 1967, she was appointed as a fit and proper person to be made a notary public. On the 5th of March 1981, Chief Folake Solanke, SAN, was conferred with the prestigious rank of the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, becoming the first female to be appointed. In 1981, Chief Solanke was also installed the Yeye Mofin of Ife by the late Oni of Ife, Oba Okunade Shijuade Olubushe I. Married to the late Emeritus Professor Toriola Solanke, a renowned surgeon, and the union is blessed with 3 children. Dr. Mrs. Oluyemisi Koya is both a medical doctor and a lawyer. Engineer Babatunde Solanke, an engineer, and of course Ms. Busola Solanke, a mathematician who also has an MBA from the London School of Business. Today, Chief Folake Solanke, SAN, is unarguably the lady of many firsts, amongst which are the First Lady Commissioner in Western State, Nigeria in 1972, the First Lady Chairman of the Board of WNTV and WNBS 1971, the First Lady Senior Advocate of Nigeria 1981, the first Governor of Zonta International District 18, Africa in 1982, the first non-Caucasian to be elected International President of Zonta International 1992. And in 2012, the celebrant was honored by the International Bar Association with the Outstanding International Women Lawyer Award in recognition of her professional excellence and immense contribution to the advancement of women within the legal profession. Mrs. Folake Solanke, SAN, as she stands before us, just last week at the NEC meeting, one of the twin buildings will now be named after Chief Folake Solanke. Several cases handled by Chief Folake Solanke SAN include A.O. Koka versus Fawez Mukarim in 1968 that got to the Supreme Court, A.G. Western Nigeria versus Gogobiri Shokoto and 2 others 1966 case, Bank of the North Limited versus Johnny Haddad, a 1982 case, O. Kukoye and others versus V.O. Aina, 1983, Chief M.L. Lagunju versus First Bank of Nigeria, 1988, Mrs. F.O. Shofora versus Osun State College of Education, 1991, Association of Nigerian Cocoa Exporters Limited, ANSE, versus Cooperative Bank Limited, a 2002 Court of Appeal matter. The celebrant has delivered several lectures, written many articles and books, amongst which is her autobiography, Reaching for the Stars, with the foreword written by Honorable Justice Kayode Esho, JSC of blessed memory. Chief Folake Solanke SAN has been likened by a retired judge to the legendary Cleopatra in Zonta circles, being described as a stunningly beautiful woman. And even at 90, I will say that she is still stunningly beautiful. This in addition to the fact that she is brilliant, very hardworking, focused, and an inspiration to everyone. She has so far been referred to as an Amazon and the matriarch of the one and only, the first Nigerian Bar Association, the pace setter, and the first and the best branch in the whole of Nigeria out of the 135 branches, Ibadan branch. Mama, long may you live. Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll take recognitions again. Justice Ajadi, I'm sure I saw you somewhere. Thank you so much for coming. Mrs. Folashade Aladeni, Mrs. Shola Suleiman, Chairman FIDA Oyo, Mr. Shile Obasa, Chairman Young Lawyers Forum Ibadan, Mr. Shegun Ololade from the Lagos branch, thank you so much for coming. Alhaji Adekola Karim, the former vice chairman of MBA Ibadan. Mr. Akim Ukelola, the former secretary of MBA Ibadan. Thank you so much. We recognize you. Thank you so much for coming. And while we were doing that, Honorable Justice, our own, former member of the MBA Ibadan, a member of the branch, no longer, because she has left the bar and gone to the bench. Honorable Justice Alero Akeredolu, thank you so much. And she is representing Arakunri Akeredolu for the occasion. We'll go straight into the Bhakti lecture, The Making of a Lawyer, the Role of Ethics by none but the first adopted son of Mama Prince Lateef Fagbemi, SAN.
The chairman, who is also the governor of Ondo State, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, ably represented by my Lord, Honorable Justice Alero Akeredolu, the learned Senate, my noble lords, I am not a good protocol person. You please forgive me. I normally hide under, especially when I am not the first speaker. I'm always very happy. All I do is to leverage on existing protocol, and on this occasion, that is what I would like to do. With the exception of somebody here, please forgive me, and because I won't be able to report the happenings here. I don't know what is wrong with my eardrums. Forgive me if it is faulty, but I didn't hear the anchor people mention Honorable Justice R.B. Akintola, and you know why. So, special recognition for her. Please forgive me. Mama, I greet you. Once again, and to the glory of God, I'm here to give a small talk in honor of a distinguished personality of international repute, a woman of incomparable international values, and the undisputed matriarch of Nigerian legal family. It is with utmost joy that I stand before you today and add my little voice to those of other well-meaning Nigerians and across the globe as we celebrate the birthday of our Nigerian Mama, Chief Folake Solanke, SANCON. First, I wish to heartily congratulate our Mama in advance, just a week away today, for reaching the milestone, and also pray for sound health for her. I predict that the celestial heavens will project a bright and beautiful Tuesday, 29th day of March 2022, for the birthday of a quintessential, adorable, details, beautiful, and one of Nigerian Bar Association's pillars of support. I am aware of the eulogies of the celebrant of today have been well chronicled in books already in print and waiting to be launched. Ahead of the launch, however, let me say that there is total unanimity amongst legal practitioners of repute that Chief Solanke SAN lives and is living an exemplary lifestyle worthy of emulation. She is a study in courage, candor, and leadership. When I was informed of the assignment to deliver a paper in honor of her some 9 days ago, I consulted some of my colleagues on what I should speak on. They all suggested that no topic will suit the occasion better than the one that deals with professional ethics of a lawyer. This is so because Mama has distinguished herself in various areas of practice, and cognizable amongst these areas is the propagation of the professional ethics in the legal profession. Professional ethics is an area of the legal profession that Mama has long dedicated herself and has carved an enviable name for herself, and one that has won her several friends and enemies too. The simple reason for this is that Mama's doggedness in ensuring that lawyers conform to a set of ethical standards admit of no compromise. When it comes to ethics and ethos as they concern Mama Solanke, there are no half measures. It has always been a leave it or take it situation. In all, I consider this representation a food of the soul for Mama, as well as theology to underscore our contributions to the development of legal practice in Nigeria. Like a double-edged, no, not double-edged, I'm so sorry, like a double-barrel gun, while this serves to as a deserved shooting bomb for Mama, it is also a wake-up call and guidance for other members of the legal and noble profession. Interestingly, this penchant for standards has made Mama a somewhat misunderstood person to some people. For those of us who know what she stands for, we are always at peace with her. I am anyway. And I dare say it pays to stand with her. I have had an opportunity to explain this aspect of Mama's way of life on some other occasions. I refer to the book yet to be launched as part, and I said, see tribute to Mama Folake Solanke at 90, written by me. Then the making of a lawyer, the role of ethics. When I think of ethics, I think of Mama Solanke. She is, without mincing words, the holy grail of professional ethics. I consider these really important topic, considering that the celebrant and the honoree of today, Mama, has a penchant for all things ethics and morals. Mama has indeed molded her life around the law, its ethics and ethos. This is not in any doubt, as this can be gleaned from her work, the way she talks, what she wears, how she speaks, both in and out of court. Mama's life is one of foremost authorities in what is ethical outside and extant law. I make bold to say that I have seen Mama dress on many occasions. None falls short of enviable traits. Today, I will not be surprised if, forgive me, maybe I'm wrong, but I can't be totally wrong. I make bold to say that I have seen Mama dress on many occasions. None falls short of enviable traits. Today, I will not be surprised if Mama is not adorning one of her well-tailored and neatly ironed black suit, or if it is a native attire, it will be predominantly white. So that's why I said I'm not that. Whatever the situation, I am most convinced that Mama will sartorially and elegantly well-dressed too, and will no doubt catch the fancy of the profession's teeming intelligentsia. Ethics has been defined by the 1999 edition of the Chambers Dictionary as, quote, the science of morals, that branch of philosophy which is concerned with human character and conduct, a system of morals or rules of behavior, a treatise on morals. It goes, unquote, It goes further in its definition of the adjective ethical as, quote, relating to morals, the science of ethics or professionals, standard of conduct relating to or in accord with approved moral behavior, unquote. On its part, the Black's Law Dictionary, 7th edition, defines legal ethics as, quote, the standard of minimally acceptable conduct within the legal profession involving the duties that its members owe to another, their clients, and the courts, also termed etiquette of the profession, the study or observance of the duties, the written regulations governing those duties, unquote. In essence, legal ethics simply refers to that body or code of conduct expected of a legal practitioner that epitomizes or demonstrates a high sense of professional competence and integrity befitting of members of the profession. It is an embodiment of all that accords with civilized moral standards in the discharge of one's professional services. It must be emphasized that lawyers are special breeds in the society, not only as the demands of not only as the demands of the profession made us so, our society has equally deliberately made it so, to the extent we cannot but maintain high standards of integrity and ethical composure. Nothing demonstrates the high premium placed on lawyers than the preferential treatment that we often get when we are opportune to travel outside the shores of this country. In spite of the notoriously unkind reception that Nigerians sometimes get at foreign airports, mere mention of the fact that one is an attorney if you are in the US or its environment, or a barrister if you are in UK or any of these European airports, is enough to evoke a warm and cooperative attitude by these foreigners. That is the power of being a lawyer. The fact that legal practitioners must always show the outside world through their relationship with their clients and the general public that they are trustworthy places some moral and professional responsibilities on the lawyers to continue to always be above board. Many a times, our courts have had cause to counsel legal practitioners on the need to give proper account of clients' money, property, and doing otherwise will impugn the credibility and integrity Without these ethics, members of the legal profession will certainly lack sight, purpose, direction, and basic understanding of what the profession should entail. This encompasses how a lawyer should dress, how he should relate with his clients, judges, and so on. The legal profession is a noble one, and only noble men are allowed into the profession. In the case of Aguru and Arumalaran, citation supplied, Honorable Justice Kekere JC, as he then was, described the legal profession as an honorable and noble one. As officers, with integrity and in the best tradition of the where non-law in public, it may be seen as the normal thing. On the other hand, if a lawyer is involved, he will be regarded as uncooked. It is not just enough to be a brilliant lawyer. One also has to familiarize himself with was similar to Attorney General and Minister of Justice, deleted some provisions therein. It is, however, being contested in some quarters, including by the Nigerian Bar Association President, that the amendment was ultra-vires the powers of the AGF, and as such, the said amendment was null and void. However, for the fact that the said amendment does not substantially affect our discourse of today, I have decided to work with it. That is the RPC 2007 in this paper. The RPC has a total of 57 paragraphs subdivided into 7 subjects. Each of the subjects specifically deals with different aspects of practice and the acceptable standard therein. Practice as a legal practitioner, relation with client, relation with other lawyers, relation with court, improper attraction of business, remuneration, and other miscellaneous matters are specifically provided for in addressing the ills that have characterized our profession for long. The relevant provisions are examined anon. Then they are quoted. And I go to an overview of relevant provision of the rules of professional conduct for lawyers. The rules of professional conduct, as noted above, is divided into 7 segments. They are spelled out. Practice as a legal practitioner, relationship with clients, relationship with other lawyers, relationship with the court, improper attraction of business, remuneration and fees, miscellaneous. Some of the rules are germane, but for the purpose of this discourse, some of these points are briefly discussed below. The first responsibility of a lawyer is to uphold and observe the rule of law, promote and foster the cause of justice, maintain high standard of professional conduct, and shall not engage in any conduct which is unbecoming of a legal practitioner. You see that under Rule 1 of the rules of the RPC. 1. Aiding of the unauthorized practice of the law. Rule 3. A lawyer shall not aid a non-lawyer in the unauthorized practice of the law, permit his professional services or his name to be used in aid of or to make possible the unauthorized practice of law by any person not qualified to practice as disqualified from practice. Share legal fees with a non-lawyer except as provided in Rule 53. A lawyer shall not, in turn, for a fee, write or sign his name or permit his name to be written or signed on a document prepared by a non-lawyer as if prepared by him. You know, we all come across some of these things in real practice. I recall that I think about 17 years ago, there was somebody who used to patronize us where I came from, the chambers of that world-renowned jurist, Afe Babalola, Are Afe Babalola. That somebody came and he was in the habit of coming. I don't know. I didn't know that he had his own letter-headed paper at home. He will come, throw up a topic, and will invite your comment. One, he was older, much, at least old enough to be my father. He will invite you, and at a stage you will say, oh, Lati, I said, sir, what do you need it for? So when it occurred to me, or I realized that he was using it for an illegal purpose, I was not able to catch him. I told him that I would buy him from the office. And he said, well, he had been coming to the office before I joined the office. And I also told him that they didn't know the type of person he was. That was why he was admitted into the office. Henceforth, he ceased that practice. But he never liked me, even though he pretended. Each time he saw me, he wanted to cuddle me. I made sure that I put myself on guard. And I got his assessment of me from somebody else. When my name was mentioned, he said, Lati, ọmọ burúkú ni kò lè èpò lójú. That's not the issue. Mo lè èpò I have, but it's just that we have to do this as a contribution to the legal profession. Representing clients within the bounds of the law. It is the duty of a legal practitioner to devote his attention, energy, and expertise to the service of his client and subject the rule of law to act in a manner consistent with the best interest of the client. At all times, a lawyer should seek to protect the best interest of his client within the bounds of law. Although while representing a client, a lawyer is duty-bound to place the law above the interest of the client, a legal practitioner should strive not to be in breach of any law to satisfy the needs of his client. In a situation where a lawyer discovers that in the course of representing a client, that the client is about to commit an offense, it is the duty of the lawyer to bring the fact to the notice of the appropriate law enforcement authorities. Permit me to observe that for fear of losing a client, some of our colleagues are afraid of telling their clients the truth about their cases. Let your clients know the strength of their cases before going to court. In my case, I will look at the strength of my client's case or cases and inform them accordingly, weak or strong. In the process of doing this, I will charge for consultation fees so that if they are not comfortable with my honest advice, they can try another lawyer. In fact, some of the clients who were uncomfortable and left have had cause to come back to say to me, Prince, you were right. After all, I still enjoy the patronage of these clients to date. There is honor in telling your clients the strength of his case. You know, it is not, I agree that if you go to court, you probably get more money than if you merely advise. But you see, you have rest of mind, and you can answer any query anytime you are called upon. And I appreciate the fact that for any given, there are only three types of cases. Totally bad. There's nothing you can do about it. The second one is, well, you will get it outright. Yes. The third one is, well, depending on the number of situations or factors. If the situation weighs maybe even 49%, I can take it. 49% against me and 51% for the other side. Some other factors may come in to tilt the scale, depending on who the lawyer side, who is the lawyer on the other side, who the judge is, what are the factors, then your power of either cross-examination, except that these days you hardly find that. But if I take 10 naira instead of 40, and I'm able to get 4 or 5, I would have satisfied of, taking my money for a case which would have lasted maybe 4 or 5 years within 2 or 3 months. It pays. I have known Mama for quite some time now, at least for more than 37 years. And the reality is that her gospel, which she has been preaching, not only by precept, but by example, is that much as the fees might be attractive, there is no basis for representing a client outside the bounds of the law. Thank you, Mama. Representing clients competently. A lawyer shall not handle a legal matter which he knows or ought to know that is not competent to handle without associating with him a lawyer who is competent to handle it. Unless the client objects, handle a legal matter without adequate preparation, neglects a legal matter entrusted to him, or attempt to exonerate himself from or limit the liability of his client for his personal malpractice or professional misconduct. Mama has always emphasized the importance of seeking knowledge and consequently representing one's interests competently. Little wonder, she speaks glowingly about the continued legal education scheme of the Nigerian Bar Association. Mama will always say that lawyers need to improve their capacity to be able to represent their clients adequately. To my knowledge, she has never turned down any invitation to be a resource person at lectures aimed at developing the capacity of lawyers. Thank you. Relationship with other lawyers. A legal practitioner has a duty to his colleagues. Yes. Lawyers are expected to treat one another with respect, fairness, consideration, and dignity, and shall not allow any ill feeling between opposing clients to influence their conduct and demeanor towards one another or towards the opposing client. There are times you see two lawyers almost fighting with each other in respect of their client's matter. The fact that a lawyer is representing a client does not mean that everything concerning the client is the business of the lawyer. The lawyer's relationship with the client is purely contractual. And I have cited the case of Ray Jones, where a solicitor was held and sanctioned guilty of contempt for threatening his colleague with physical injury. A lawyer is also expected to observe all promises or agreements with opposing lawyers, whether oral or in writing, and whether or not outside the court, and shall adhere in good faith to all agreements implied by the circumstances of the case. A lawyer is also expected not to take undue advantage of the predicament or misfortune of the client. In a situation where a lawyer knows the other counsel representing the other party, he should not take advantage of his colleague by causing any default to be entered in the case without first inquiring about the reason for the said default. I cited the case of Kwampe and Victor, where it was held by the Court of Appeal that to withhold the filing the necessary documents, open that it seems that the opposing side would have little or no time to respond, to my mind, is unfair and may even amount to dishonesty. It is hoped that this practice will stop so that together we shall march ahead in the attainment of justice according to law. So, a lawyer ought to be honest and prudent at all times. It is also interesting to note that our courts have not been silent too on the need for lawyers to maintain high ethical standard in their dealings with not only the professional colleagues, but their clients too. And the duty of lawyers to the court. The rules that say that a lawyer shall always treat the court with respect, dignity, and honor. That's what it says. Where the lawyer has a proper ground for complaining against a judicial officer, he shall make his complaint to the appropriate authorities. A lawyer who fails to comply either with any undertaking given by him personally or on behalf of his client to a court is prima facie guilty of professional misconduct, except where the opposing lawyer fails or refuses to attend and the judge is advised of the circumstances. A lawyer shall not discuss a pending case with the judge trying the case unless the opposing lawyer is present, except as provided by the rule or order of court. A lawyer shall not deliver to the judge any letter, memorandum, brief, or other written communications without concurrently delivering a copy to the opposing lawyer. There are better ways of addressing grievances with the court. A formal report to the chief judge of such unacceptable conduct and lawyers should imbibe the culture of patience while awaiting the decision of the complaint made. There was a time I followed my boss, Chief Ape Babalola, to court. And as we all know, the front row is usually reserved for the senior advocate. A very well-known lawyer came to court, did not want his clients to know that he could not sit in front because he was not a senior advocate. He moved to Chief Abebola and asked, Afe, can I sit with you? Well, and Afebola said, oh, sure, if the rules allow it. Well, I know my senior in chambers, Chief Oluwole, I know, or will know the person, but don't let us mention names. So the gentleman was hovering around the precincts of the court. The judge came. The judge liked the gentleman and said, oh, X, come and sit here. Chief Afebola kept quiet, but, forced an adjournment. He said he needed an adjournment. The matter was adjourned. The next thing was, he wrote to the chief judge, Honorable Justice Ayorinde of blessed memory, and said this was what happened in court. And the chief judge wrote a letter to apologize to chief. And chief said, no, it doesn't end there. You see, that judge, I don't want my case or any of my cases before him. He said, oh, I grant you. I think that is better than, just making noise in court. It's, to me, a more civilized way of dealing with the situation. I had a matter. It was a garnishee proceeding. And we all know that the way to kickstart garnishee proceeding is by filing an ex parte application to get an ordinance. I went there, and the judge took on me and said, look, Mr. Fagbemi, we have been warned not to grant ex parte orders. Much as I tried to convince my lord that, look, there is no other way to, start these proceedings except via an ex parte application. At a stage, he said, look, and you say you are a senior advocate, this is not the way to do it. I wanted to talk, but I saw or observed that there were some lawyers, the students from the Nigerian law school. I put myself on guard. I didn't know what to say, and I said, my lord, I think you are right. May I please ask for your permission to withdraw the application? He said, better. So, ruled that the application be struck out, and it was so struck out. The only thing I did was, I took my own copy, tipexed off the portion on, the suit number. Usually, there will be a portion dealing with suit number. I tipexed it off, used went back to refile the same process. And I went to Honorable Justice Gumi, who was then the Chief Judge of Federal High Court of Federal Capital Territory. I said, my lord, if I had offended you and you wanted to punish me, I think I've served enough punishment. He said, what happened? I narrated what happened. He said, no, that cannot be. I said, sir, that was what happened. He said, okay. Called for the file. They brought it. Immediately, he minuted that the matter, the new one I filed, should be taken before another judge. And I was very fortunate. Around 1 o'clock or so, I was before this new judge. The students from the law school, after they had finished from the first court, joined me in the new court, and they saw the way the proceedings went. I wanted to convince my lord, the new judge, that look, the rules provide that I should come expert. He said, is that in dispute? Is anybody questioning that? I said, no, I just felt I should make it. He said, no, Mr. Fagbemi, some points are so basic that you don't have to flog or overflog them. I said, thank you. He gave me the order nicer, and the student came and said, what happened in the other court? I said, well, we are not bound to look at things the same way. But honestly, when he told me that I was a senior advocate and I should have known that they won't grant ex parte order or the way I had brought it, I felt so irritated. I was angry, but I had to caution myself. Again, I know that not all of us or not many of us can do this. We just have to take it, hoping that the man at the end of affair will do the needful. So that's another one. Now, And I said, however, it must be noted that as legal professionals, our allegiance must first be to the profession and by extension, the court. We must maintain high standard of respect to the court and the course of justice. In the case of MMS and Olotu, citation given, the Supreme Court descended heavily on a counsel who had worked out on a trial judge, but who later turned around to appeal against the judgment emanating from that trial court. The Apex Court did not mince words on its disapproval of such misconduct, and it held, I quoted the thing, it's a bit long. Courtesy must always be shown to the judge, even in the papers filed, and in that a counsel cannot sit in the comfort of his chambers and hide under brief writing to insult the judge. Again, there's another case that they have quoted. The unfortunate aspect, however, is that, sorry to digress a bit, you are told that as lawyers, you must show respect to the other lawyer, you must not be rude to him, you can contact him and make your case, and articulate your views. I had another matter. A senior lawyer, very senior, I had not joined the chamber when he left. We met in court, and had a court session. Normally, as a young man, I tried to show what you have going for you at the end of the day, when entities are equal, is your conduct. The way you can make your point if they are okay, and you must read the judge. Some judges will not talk. No matter what you say, you will never be able to know where they are going. You cannot read them. Some will interject. When they interject, it may be with a view to inviting clarification. Some made up their minds. Whatever the situation, it is important that you have everything that transpired or is transpiring on record. Honorable Justice Oguegu of the Supreme Court, he was here about 20 years ago, and when I was very close to him, no, more than 20 years ago, and he called me. He said, Latif, I would like to see you in chambers. I went to him and he said, can you give me your honest assessment of the type of person that I am? Hi. I wasn't expecting the question. I started feeling with my fingers. He said, hey, I'm talking to you. He said, tell me, son, father, father, son, tell me. What? My Lord, I'm afraid. He said, don't be afraid. I've told you, you are my son. He said, yes. I look at you as a dangerous person. He didn't look up. He didn't betray any emotion. Because he told me that he was my father. I had been assured. He said, why? He said, you see, you always support a man who will lose ultimately. He said, yes. He said, well, when he was in the high court, anytime he spoke, they will always read meaning into it. He tried to rationalize it, that he had to change his style. And each time he would say, I hope your perception has changed. I said, no, I had no perception. He said, when I say your perception, I mean people around. You know, we won't know. I just want you to tell me. Then we had a case in the Supreme Court. After he had been moved to the Supreme Court, I appeared with my boss. And he was asking a question. With respect, my boss was dodging it. Chief, so question. He said, no, another person had asked a question, so I'll parry his own. We went for another one. I said, sir, I guess that Justice Ogwegbu is the one who will read the lead judgment. He said, then what can he do? I said, what? It's okay. When the judgment came to be read, they said, well, we were hovering around the principles of contempt of court. I said, Chief, but I said this one. I said, some other people ask questions, and so their own overshadowed his own. So there are occasions they will ask questions. Honestly, I believe that no matter what, try as much as possible to answer the question. One, you may end up convincing him. If not, you also get prepared that in case of appeal, you will have had sufficient time to think about all this. If you have reputation, it will earn you so many things. If you are confrontational, it will snatch away so many things, good things, from you. It's part of the conduct. A judge who gives judgment, nobody is going to beat him. The worst case scenario is the learned trial judge erred in law, and the matter ends there. Make your point and move on. You don't have to play matters to the gallery. Forgive me for going vernacular. Akoniwaju adájọ́, ìyà ló máa ń dájẹ́ client. Oh yes. So courtesy must always be shown to the judge, even in the papers filed. Yes, I've said that. And I've started the case of Globe Transport versus Free Enterprises citation given. Supreme Court deprecated the impropriety of referring to a judge as he or she when it held thus. It is quoted. I don't want to waste your time. Counsel are also enjoined to use decent language and refrain from castigating judges in their briefs of argument. The obiter of Okoro JCA, as it then was, in the case of Ayorinde and Kuforiji, citation given, is also supplied. The ethical behavior requested from a legal practitioner is not towards the court alone, as he is enjoined to show respect to the court. He must equally show same to his learned colleagues. Although utterances of counsel from the bar is considered to be privileged, it will be a total misconception for counsel to think that such privilege extends to making derogatory remarks about the opposing counsel. Nothing is farther from the truth than this. To do this is a behavior, to do so is a behavior that runs afoul of the rules of professional conduct. I was compelled to address this issue in the case of Chukwu and INEC, citation supplied, where I addressed the language employed by the First Respondents Council in his brief. The Supreme Court, at pages 418 and 419, I won't say 419, paragraphs H to G, held and deprecated the conduct of the council as follows. Latif Ofagbemi SAN, at the hearing of this appeal, complained about the language and style of the brief of the first respondent. He called the attention of the court to the use of the following words: contumacious fabrications, fraud, collusion, treason, holy cows, by the First Respondents Council in his brief to describe the accused, the appellant and his counsel. He further specifically referred to this honorable court to paragraph blah blah blah, where he submitted that the first respondent again used the basing, scathing, and unfortunate choice of words against his person without any alter of proof. Finally, said that I have gone through the said first respondent's brief, and regretfully, I have no doubt in my mind that the words used by the First Respondents Council are clearly bad and unbecoming of a legal practitioner. He need not use such derogatory and insultive language in a brief of argument. The rule of professional conduct requires lawyers not only to display a respectful attitude towards the bench, but also to exhibit a high level of decorum, candor, and fairness to the court and to other lawyers. A court of law, especially the apex court, is a place for serious legal business of adjudication and not a domain for exchange of all sorts of insult and defamatory innuendos. The age-long and sacred traditional decorum of the bar must be protected, maintained, and held in high esteem in the discharge of counsel's duty to their client. Need I say more? I therefore deprecate strongly the choice of words used by the First Respondents Council in his brief of argument as one unbecoming of a legal practitioner and ought not to be used in any brief. Such words should be avoided. Fortunately, I think some other things were to take place in the Supreme Court. Counsel on the other side deliberately avoided coming to court. Then the case of Yaradua, Abubakar and Yaradua, is another where the Supreme Court, per Honorable Justice Toby, JSC, also went to town on the duty of counsel to each other or one another. I leave that and I go to improper attraction of business. There is no gainsaying the fact that this practice is rife in this era of social media, where advertisement or promotion of business, of law, is being carried out with relish under the guise of right guaranteed by Section 39 of the Constitution. Rules 39 to 47 are explicit on their limitations, on the limitations imposed in the interest of the profession. While imposing a restraint on extreme situations, it affords a modest avenue for lawyers to escalate their identities and qualities to the general public in terms of the use of print and electronic media, signages within the permissible parameters set out by the provisions. The Act, which Rule 45 forbids or prohibits, has assumed notoriety in that most social clubs, cultural organizations, social associations, and groups have now cultivated the habit of swearing in new members of their executive by lawyers, fully robed at different fora, which include but not limited to hotels and event centers, thereby negating the provisions of the rule. Having said the above, there is no doubt that the reason for ethical breaches among legal practitioners can be summarized as being penchant for not complying with the provisions of the rules of professional conduct of lawyers referred to above. Virtually all identifiable breaches amongst our colleagues are relatable to the particular section of the rules. Thus, if we all strive to comply with the provisions of the rules, it is beyond debate that cases of ethical breaches will reduce drastically, if not totally eradicated. It is to this end that I make the following suggestions to reduce cases of ethical misconduct in our profession. 1, constant public engagement with the people. I have come to realize that the majority of our people do not usually insist on their right to getting adequate value when they engage professionals for specialized services. The moment legal practitioners know that there are clients who question the quality of service or services paid for, then the lawyers will strive to deliver on their services. There are lots of times when clients lose cases, not because the cases are that bad, but simply because a lawyer was negligent in doing what is required at the right time. The more our clients insist on getting quality service and seeking redress where same is not delivered, the more lawyers will be on their toes and strive to follow the rules and ethics of the profession. In the same vein, clients should be constantly reminded that their corresponding duty in ensuring prompt delivery of services in terms of funding. There is, where it is clear that the client is such that does not appreciate the essence of adequate funding of the case in court, or he or she is incapacitated by any reason, lawyers should decline rendering further services rather than being accused of poor services. Both the national and local bars must continuously organize seminars or conferences on ethics and sustain the campaign. I strongly feel that ethics should always be part of the agenda in any program being organized by the MBA, except it is extremely impossible to include same in the program of events. My conviction is strengthened by the fact that the more we continue to preach the gospel of ethical rebirth among ourselves, the more we live with such consciousness. It is a way of making all of us live with Mama Solanke's personnel on matters of ethics. I am sure that the more we do that, the more we continue to immortalize our struggle as an indisputable Amazon of the law. Undisputable Amazon of the law. 2, ethics courses in faculty. I have also argument that I know it is in the law school that we do this, the issue of ethics. I think the foundation should be laid from the university. Strict application of disciplinary sanction. I dare say that the usefulness of any sanction is in its application. A disciplinary sanction that is amenable to the whims of its enforcers will eventually crumble or at least become ineffective. The point I'm struggling to make here is that where a legal practitioner is found guilty of breaching any of the provisions of the rules of professional conduct, the corresponding disciplinary sanction should be strictly applied to such a culprit without any reservation. Those saddled with the responsibility of enforcing those sanctions must understand the gravity of the task and ensure that they do what is right always. They must not be too timid to apply the law, nor be carried away to apply same. The usual thinking that they might be jeopardizing the professional career of a colleague should they enforce the appropriate sanction on such an erring colleague must give way for much more reasonable thinking that failure to do so, to enforce the law, is a further step at totally bastardizing the profession. the bigger picture of protecting the profession should be more paramount to them and to all of us. In other words, I am saying that we should be aware of misplaced leniency. Similar to the above, I propose that the disciplinary panels under the RPC and the Legal Practitioners Act should be increased in order to ensure speedy proceedings. The quicker cases of ethical breaches are dealt with, the better for the public image of our profession. It will also allow lawyers affected to know their fate in good time. Also, it is suggested that such cases ought to be completed within a specified time frame. What I mean by time frame is because I'm aware that some people can go to court and say, oh, this is unconstitutional. If you cannot give a time frame, at least if you give timelines within which certain actions are taken, like when you receive petition, how much time do you give to the man on the other side? How much time should be afforded for the writing of written submissions? You would have indirectly, sideline, but at least avoided the accusation that you are acting unconstitutionally. Yeah, it is disheartening to note that numerous cases of errant legal practitioners are currently pending before the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee. There is no gainsaying that there is not only overwhelming but burdensome for the committee when viewed from the perspective that members of the LPDC don't preside on the committee on a full-time basis. It is therefore clear beyond peradventure that there's an urgent need for the disciplinary mechanism to be widened and strengthened with a view to incorporating the branches of the MBA in the disciplinary process. What a better time to be having this conversation. In about 9 days, the body of benchers in its process of handling a new leadership. Yes, there's going to be a new leadership change of baton come 31st of March. In my years of practice, I have met Mama in court on a good number of occasions. Not one time have I seen her show any discourtesy to the court when you consider that most of the judges are younger than her, both age-wise and at the bar. Nor have I witnessed hands must be on deck on matters of ethics in the legal profession. It is the strongest pillar on which our profession stands, and we cannot ensure that conscious efforts in the past are not in vain. Once again, on behalf of all of us, for join and do say once again, happy birthday to a Nigerian and much the legal profession. And mind, sound health, and all. Mama, may your night be peaceful. Thank you.
We will be taking questions and answers. But before we do that, we would like to take the goodwill from the representative of our Justice Alero.
Nigeria CON, Honorable Justices and Judges here present, Attorneys Generals of the states, Vice Chancellors of universities, because I can see my prof, the Chairman and members of the Nigerian Bar Association, Ibadan and other branches, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols duly observed. Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odwanyo Akeredolu ought to be here in person, and in fact, I know that as of yesterday, he had said he will be here in person. So I was totally surprised when he called me this morning and said he needs family in the law to represent him at today's occasion. And I was the only one suited at that point because I'm also a member of the legal. So I had to quickly, because when your father speaks, you had to quickly reorganize yourself. And so, of course, with the permission of my chief judge, here I am. I'm going to give the goodwill message of Arakuri now. And so when I'm speaking, and I say I mean him, not me. Says, it gives me great joy, pleasure, and extreme delight to be here to celebrate my professional mom at 90. More so because this is an occasion organized by members of the bar in her honor. Up till yesterday, I had planned to be here personally as I hold my mom, Mama Solanke, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, in extremely high regard and love. But unforeseen circumstances now make it impossible. My mom knows I would move everything on earth to have been here in person if I could. Chief Folake Solanke, SAN, needs no introduction to most of us that are here. She is an Iroko in this profession. Many have leaned on her for their growth and support professionally and personally. I fall into that category. And many others are still leaning on her wealth of wisdom and indeed her life for inspiration. This is why you see many claiming her as their grand and great-grand professional mother. This is who she is, and indeed more. Not too many people, and indeed fewer women, have lived such blessed, fulfilled, iconic, and star-filled life of legacy like our esteemed matriarch of the bar, Mama Solanke. Ma, you are worthy to be celebrated always, and I join all members of the Nigerian Bar Association and Ibadan branch in particular to celebrate you as you turn 90 in a few days' time. God has truly been merciful and gracious to you to celebrate 90 in good health, strong in mind and body, as well as in your spirit. To God be all the glory. Mama has paid her dues to the profession. She has dedicated herself to upholding its ethics and best traditions. That is why even in her recent speeches and public comments on contemporary issues relating to the bar and bench, she always advocates the highest standards possible. The legal profession has always been and is still her passion and joy. And I have no doubt the profession loves her truly in return, as exemplified by the presence of the great leaders of the bar, past and present, as well as the members who are here to honor her today. Mama is a matriarch of Ibadan Bar, a role she continues to fulfill diligently and meritoriously. We thank you, Ma, for availing yourself to us whenever we call you. Thank you. The theme of our gathering here today is the making of a lawyer, the role of ethics, to be delivered by one of the finest and excellent senior advocates of Nigeria, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. I have no doubt, and I may now add, that he will deal with the subject creditably, as he has obviously done. It's also a topic very dear to the heart of Mama: ethics in the legal profession. Without much ado, I welcome all, even belatedly, to this occasion, and I know that we have all, and we will all leave here better informed than we came. I thank you all for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Justice Alero Akeredolu. The question and answers. The person that wrote the lecture has had to leave, and he just called. If we can have the questions, if we can have it sent to the ushers with your email address, he says he would be happy to answer all the questions. And he sends his apologies. He has a flight to catch. So we thank you. We're going to the presentation of the book in a minute. But before then, we would like to have the remarks from the celebrant, the matriarch of the bar. Okay, before Mama speaks, the Honorable Attorney General of Oyo State is here, and in the name of Professor Oyelowo Oyewo, SAN. Thank you, sir. The Lanet Silk, Mr. Oluwaseun Abimbola, SAN. Thank you so much for coming. Mrs. Ogunkomi, the Chief Magistrate, she's here. Professor Adeni Olatubosun, the Vice Chairman of Kolada IC University, is here as well. Thank you so much for coming. Mama will take her remarks.
It's so difficult for me to know where to start. First of all, let me say that I'm thoroughly overwhelmed by the judicial presence here because all the judges have come here to celebrate me. Please extend my gracious compliments to the Chief Judge of Oyo State. I feel most gratified that you have all come. So no lawyer is going to say, oh, I couldn't come because I was in court. All the judges are here. Thank you for my profile when it was read. I'm very anxious that my former pupils of Yejide Girls Grammar School would fail because of the omission. So between 1968 and 1970, I was teaching Latin and mathematics at Yejide Girls Grammar School in Ibadan. Is anyone here? Stand up to be recognized. Stand up. That's right. Well done, well done, well done. Now, I want to thank this audience for being here and the most affectionate welcome that I always enjoy among lawyers. After my home, I feel very happy to be among lawyers. And I want to also give special recognition to my family. The gentleman on my right hand is the youngest of the Alabukun children. And the first child of Mama is the doctor lawyer Solanke, accompanied by her sister Solanke. And of course, Aniade Odulate, the wife of my brother, is here. I want to pay special appreciation to well, she has become a judge now, so I was going to say Professor Alero, but I also say Justice Alero Akeredolu for being here. I was happy when she came in, but I was heartbroken by her message that my professional son would not be able to come, but I accept the reason which has been communicated to me. Please extend my fondest wishes to him, and that I have missed him sorely at this place, but I understand. And I thank him for his magnificent goodwill. Thank you very much. Let me also acknowledge the presence of Justice Yerima, who is representing the Chief Judge of Oyo State. She's also, I've been so blessed. I have so many biological and extended family children. I love you all, and may God love us more. I salute all of you. You're learned Attorney General. I'm waiting for you. Thank you for coming. And then the chairman, Eson, Olayinka Eson. I cannot tell you how busy he has been with the secretary, and then deputy, the vice chairman, who has been the coordinator and was the MC. I'm greeting you. I'm greeting you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. She's very precious to me, like all of you. Her mother was a great fan of mine, but she went to meet the Lord a year or two ago after her father. So she's very special to me, like all of you. Now, let me go into my statement, and I regard it as a historical one. On Friday, the 16th day of July, 2021, I had a serious domestic accident during the night. The fall was so bad that only God lifted me up from my prostrate, bleeding position. But I survived. To be able to experience all the joyous excitement about my 90th birthday. Please thank God for me. 90. Even the sound of it is heavy. 90. It is by divine grace and benevolence that anyone can attain the age of 90 years on this planet Earth. I pray that God will bestow longevity on all of you in good mind and in sound mind. Words fail me to articulate the profundity of my emotional gratitude to our Almighty God and to my father, Chief Jacob Shokoyega Odulate, alias Alabokun, otherwise known as the Blessed Jacob. Indeed, there's no greater honor that one can be bestowed on any individual than that of her peers. I am now basking in the luxury and euphoria of being celebrated by my learned colleagues. What a fabulous good fortune. I thank you all. But let us applaud our awesome, almighty God and Creator. Before I go on, let me recognize the Honorable Justice Mojisola Olatoregun, my adopted daughter. She will be mentioned later on. I told the organizers that my focus for the celebration is on my father, who cared for me and protected me. A motherless child, 2-year-old child, in a polygamous home. Let me have some water, please. I'm very happy that people are listening. When I attend bar meetings, I'm always on my feet, telling my colleagues inner and outer bar, that it's a good lawyer is a good speaker and a good listener. And it's an act of discourtesy for somebody to present in a paper and you are having your own meeting. You might as well not be here. So I thank you for listening. Back to my father. He took a wise and strategic decision to hand me over to my heartbroken grandmother, Madam Shekumade Abiodun, to take me to her Shidipon village, about 10 miles from Abeokuta, with the strict instructions that I must drink only boiled water and must be brought back to our blessed Jacob's home in Abeokuta every fortnight for him to check my health. A Hausa man was engaged by my father to carry me back and forth. I remember my grandmother with nostalgic affection. I have hundreds of vivid images of my father, but of my mother, none. That is my personal tragedy of a vacuum no one can ever fill fully. At the age of 5 years, I was brought back permanently to our home in Abeokuta to start formal pre-primary school education. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from Shedikmo village in Ogun State to Afeba Balola Bar Center in Oyo State. What a saga. And with all that happened during those years, praise be to God. Temples forget. Time flies. Please applaud my father. Thank you. The Ooni of Ife, Kábíyèsí Ọba Adéyẹyè Ẹnìtàn Ògúnwùsì Ọ̀jájá II, graciously celebrated my father's 100 years, 1918 to 2018. He celebrated the Alabukun brand with an award. Members of my family, including myself, attended and received the award in Ile-Ife. Please applaud the Ooni. We now await recognition by the Lagos State and Ogun State and the federal government for my father's stupendous pharmaceutical contribution to the nation. My father was the inventor of Alabukun powder. His photograph is on the sachet of the alabukun powder. He invented about 150 medicinal medications, but alabukun powder has survived him. It is now the favorite of consumers of Bacchus, those who drink, and others, because it gives instant relief from alcoholic stupor and headache. It's an analgesic my father invented, not for drunkards, but for patients with pain. But in any case, my father's legacy is imperishable. His photograph is there for authority and authenticity. My father was born in Ikorodu, Ogun State, now, Lagos State. In his teenage years, he left home and settled in Abeokuta, where he made his name and fame. So we are waiting for recognition by the government of Ogun State, the government of Lagos State, and the government of Oyo State, because I live here. Now, I move to the one and only legal profession, the law, in the practice of which I have been engaged for the past 59 years, with 41 of them as the first female senior advocate of Nigeria. That was in 1981, when the law was respected and obeyed. Please, permit me to digress for a minute. I am in the process of publishing the staggering tributes which I received for the celebration of my 40 years as a silk last year. However, and regrettably, my publisher was involved in a vehicular accident, and his arm is now in a plaster cast. Thus, the publication of my book of tributes has been delayed, but action will resume for publication as soon as he's out of the plaster of Paris. I think Dr. Yemisi Koya will tell me that's the correct name. Deo Wolente. He will recover. Now back to my statement. Since 1981, I have worn my prestigious status silk robe as a garment. I've worn it as a garment. As I am addicted to the law, I have endeavored in my legal practice to demonstrate the very best of the universal ethics and tradition of the learned profession, which for me is the first profession in the world. Because in Genesis chapter 1 verse 3, God pronounced the first commandment, id est, the law, let there be light, and there was light. That was the first biblical decree. Now, I thank all the organizers for their stupendous commitment, particularly the NBA Ibadan branch. Olayinka Eson, stand up. Under the competent and dynamic leadership of my learned son, professional son, and governor of Ondo State, the chairman of this propitious celebration, who has maintained his total support for all NBA activities, even in his position as governor. In my autobiography, Reaching for the Stars, page 236, I wrote about the governor, listen to this, who was a youth corper, when I was elevated to the rank of the silk. He came to my Alabukun law chambers as a youth corper when I was at the Finance Corporation building, 5th floor, now Ajay House. During his holidays in Ibadan, from the East, the visit was without notice in 1982. I dropped my pen and I had a conversation with him about core service and our learned profession. When he left me, I knew that a young youth corper who had the temerity to came to the son's Lord chambers with notice, invitation, he was bound to soar in the profession because of the evidence of self-assurance, self-esteem. The visit now, in addition to having been a past Nigerian Bar Association president and a senior advocate of Nigeria, inter alia, is now governor of Ondo State. Indeed, as the dictum goes, the morning shows the day. On the 21st day of July 2021, I was in Owo, Ondo State, to witness the commemoration of the huge and impressive hall donated by Governor Akeredolu's son to the NBA Owo branch. My name was inscribed on the wall of the entrance of the hall. That was historical and an extraordinary show of respect, goodwill, and affection. That was the origin of the professional mother, professional son relationship, which has endured for 60 years. Praise God. Hallelujah. My learned professional son and chairman of this fantastic celebration wrote to me through Alero. I thank you. There's no boju boju olorombo business. No boju boju oloro business. This is what happened. That's how he became my professional son and also his professional mother. You heard him in his speech. And he does that every time he sees me anywhere. Please applaud the governor and his family. Please convey my fondest wishes to the biological mother, Evangelist Grace B. Akeredolu, JP. And I think at 90, I have a right to have a drink of water. As many times as I want. Please convey my fondest wishes to biological mother, Evangelist Grace B. Akeredolu, JP. She calls me professional mother. I call her biological mother. She sent me a beautiful orange material which I wore on the day you were celebrating her on the night, on the, what is it, 19th of March. You know what? And also, please convey my greetings and fondness to Chief Betty Akeredolu. I'm also blessed with a huge extended family at the bar and outside the bar. I extend to you all my enormous gratitude for your love, affection, and care. I love you all. May God love us more. It's all very emotional for me, but we'll make it. Many misdeeds have become worrisome in our learned profession. I'm thoroughly heartbroken. I appeal to the learned seniors to continue to show leadership by exemplary performance at the bar. I appeal to the new wigs to practice law with integrity, dignity, scholarship, courtesy, and impeccable appearance, so we can regain the golden age of our profession. A shabby or rude lawyer is a shame and a disgrace to the profession and should not be there. Now, in the tribulation and aggravation of at the national front, the Naira, I'm going on to the national front, the Naira is gradually descending into nothingness, with the foreign exchange of nearly 600 Naira for $1 and nearly 800 Naira for £1 sterling. Prices of petrol, diesel, food, and all other basic consumer commodities have soared and become unaffordable. Let us appeal to the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Chief Godwin Emefiele, to please help us to stabilize the naira so that it does not become totally useless and valueless. At the Women in Management, Business and Public Service, WIMBIS conference, and at the International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, dinner dance, where I spoke late last year in Lagos, I introduced the slogan, "Stop the Naira Crash." Please say after me, "Stop the Naira Crash." Stop the Naira crash. As for the endemic corruption, which is ravaging all aspects of life, all I say is, let each one of us be corruption-free. Then corruption will be eradicated from the polity. It is a personal and individual challenge. Let each one of us become corruption-free. There will be no corruption in the polity. With all due respect, I declare before you that I am corruption-free. But we must remain hopeful. Nigeria will survive. Amen. Doom, spiro, spero. While I breathe, I hope. Let me just put in straight away, because I became emotional and I left out some information. Mojisola was 13 when she also came to my Alabukun Law Chambers. She had heard about me. I had left the school, but she had heard about me. And she came with a friend. And she reminded me not too long ago that I gave them some mint money. Anyway, I also felt what I felt when Rotimi came. That somebody who would come from Yejide Girls Grammar School, unannounced, 13 years old, at the effrontery to come to my law chambers. So as a former teacher, I sat them down, gave them a bit of a homily. She's now the retired administrative judge of the Federal High Court in Lagos. Thank you. Please applaud her. I'm nearing the end, don't worry. The learned profession must speak up against the egregious state of the nation. Let us follow the injunction in Proverbs 31, verses 8 and 9. Verse 8, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. To lawyers, listen to the judges. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy. Those verses were written for the learned profession, for both lawyers and judges. Let us follow them. Let us not be just loquacious spectators, loquacious commentators. Speak up. Let us be part of our national salvation. I congratulate all of you. for looking so resplendent. I always say it is good to look good. The ladies, you look enchanting. And the gentlemen, you look terrific. When you enter a room, the people either upgrade you or undergrade you based on your appearance. Before you open your mouth to say how brilliant you are, they've either underrated you or uprated you. I am an unyielding advocate of the professional colors black and white. You heard my learned son, Fagwemi. I use the word black advisedly because if I were to say dark color, someone may come in brown or green. So I stick to black. I'm delighted that many colleagues have followed my example of professional black and white attire. Thank you so much, learned friends. Now, let us thank and applaud our eminent learned colleague, Are Afebabalola SAN, the Baamofi of Oyo, for his gift of this magnificent edifice of a hall, of a bar center. Applaud Afebabalola. Thank you. May we all continue to prosper. Deo volente. Once more, I thank you for this unforgettable professional celebration. May God heal Nigeria. And may God bless all of us. Out of the abundance of riches in glory, Deo volente. In peroration, I extend high commendation to our current president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Olumide Akwata Esquire, for his impressive and outstanding performance in that prestigious office. I think it was on Friday night. Yusuf Raimi Esquire, secretary of the NBA Ibadan, sent me a text and said, I'm pleased to inform you that the NBA house in Abuja has been named after you, Folake Solanke house. I mean, the news was so staggering. I was alone in my room. I just sat there speechless. May God continue to elevate all of us. So please applaud Olumide Akwata for the magnificent job is speaking for the poor, the voiceless, and the poor, and those who will not speak for themselves. The voiceless and the whatever. Now, he's doing very well in that prestigious office. Now, applaud yourselves. I rest, even though I'm sitting down.
We'll keep the applause going. Thank you so much, Mama.
We'll be going to the presentation of the book, selection of lectures. Mama will speak later on after the presentation.
Please, Alero, tell my professional son and everybody that I'm wearing the Owo outfit that was given to me in Owo.
Okay, the presentation of the book, selection of lectures, essays and papers on law and society by Chief Folake Solanke, SAN. It will be done by the Honorable, the Attorney General of Oyo State, Professor Oyelowo Oyewo, SAN.
Chief Folake Solanke, our mama, it gives me a great pleasure to be part of this program. I also celebrated my birthday on Sunday, so it's only fitting that the celebration should continue. Let me also recognize the representative of the Chief Judge, Justice Yerima, and the representative of Mama's professional son, our able governor of Ondo State, Governor Akeredolu. We all call him Aketi. I want to recognize the representative of the family and all the members of the family here present. Congratulations, Adagba, Adarubo. Let me recognize my Lord, Honorable Justice Olatorego from Federal High Court, formerly of the Federal High Court, and presently the chairman of anti-corruption in Lagos State. Oyo State is pace-setting. We started the anti-corruption thing, and everybody is following. So we already have the anti-corruption, we have the chairman. We are glad that Lagos State is following suit. I want to recognize my learned brothers who are here, the chairman of the bar, senior members of the bar, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. A lot has been said about Mama, and all of them we just have to corroborate and buttress by looking at other aspects. Mama has expressed her love for the legal profession. And you know, each time Mama speaks, she punctuates with some Latin words. So as I was coming, I thought I too should follow suit and say, Omnia vince l'amor. Love conquers all. Because Mama's love and passion for the profession, you can see 40 years and still going strong, and still a role model for both female, male senior advocates. Mama is the one that chairs the meeting of senior advocates when we have it. And the last I was asking Mama, where do you get the energy? All of us will be coming in and out of the meeting. Mama will sit through the meeting from beginning till the end. And I'm always, quite impacted whenever I have the privilege of visiting Mama at home. She's so passionate about current affairs. Ekpelema. Thank you. She's so passionate about, she'll tell me, this road. I remember the last time it was Jembe One Road. that we have to do something about those people on that road. Yeah, Jembewa Road. And I remember about refuse and all that. And this prompted an initiative in my ministry that I hope before the end of the year will impact the whole of the environment in Ibadan. Because the filth is becoming uncontrollable. And the question I always ask, what can the Lord do in any matter? And what the Lord can do is to reform the legal framework for purposes of environmental, enhancement, both aesthetically and sustainability, and in terms of even how we do things, so that the whole environment can be improved. It's been done in Lagos, and I think we can replicate it. And what we just did was to bring the set of consultants that Lagos State used. Interestingly, they come from my faculty, and I had the privilege of chairing the committee that did that of Lagos State. So I just brought them, and they are at work with the Ministry of Environment, and in the soonest of time, we are going to reach out to members of the bar. So any idea that you have that can improve the environment, you will be pursuing one of the passions of Mama in making a place aesthetically sublime. Now, to the presentation of the book, I have to confess that I'm quite impressed, because this is a third in the series of lectures, essays, and papers on law written by Mama. She started this book presentation in 2012, and this is the third of it. I had the privilege of the second one, which was done, I think, a year or two ago. And I think this also will be going into my library. Indeed, it covers a broad spectrum of subjects that I believe should interest any lawyer that wants to be current and that wants to learn from, the experience of those who have gone ahead. Mama's passion is always conveyed in the presentations that she has had occasions to, present. And the selection of lectures, they revolve around activities she's done in the past in the legal profession. So if you want to follow Mama's thought, values, and all the things that makes her to be her, then of course, you need to have a copy of this book. With respect to the celebration, you notice that the moment I was introduced, Mama reminded me about our discussion. So Mama, consider it done. So our discussions have conveyed, and even before the end of this week, you'll see me. So on that note, without wanting to take much of the time of everyone, this is a book presentation. It's not a book launch. There's a difference. At book launch, they do things that relates to launching a book. But where there's a book presentation, it's a sharing of knowledge, values, and wanting to impact society. And this must be encouraged. And to that extent, I present this book to the profession. I present the book to the members of the community. And I want to thank especially Justice Yerima, who issued an ex parte order to command me to move from my seat. And you can see I have a witness, because this was a honor that was to be done. But I think she must have known that I'm a child of March. And that's the best season of the month to be born. To be born in the month of March. And you can see, if you dispute it, then you are disputing what is before you. That is Mama. It's not a fact, ma. It's a fact to be born in March is the best time to be born in the year. So we're celebrating this presentation in the month of March. So on the 22nd day of March, in the year of our Lord 2022, I present this book to all of us and to everyone for the advancement of knowledge, and for the edification of minds, and for building up people in character, and for the progress of the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, I have an apology. I did not remember to really salute members of the inner bar, my fellow senior advocates of Nigeria. I salute you all. And my learned friends of the outer bar, I salute you all. And there's a relation of mine whom I must also recognize. She's the wife of the late Justice Omololu Thomas. She's my cousin. That is Princess Femi Omololu Thomas. And I thank the ushers, everybody who is helping us.
Thank you, Mama. I need the hard copies. A selection of lectures, essays and papers on law and society. The hard copy is 25,000 naira. The soft copy is 20,000 naira. We have Mama's book here, Reaching for the Stars, and that is in soft copy, and that is 20,000 naira. Please feel free to come over and pick your copy. So it's soft copy 20,000, hard copy 25,000, and Reaching for the Stars, the autobiography of, I can't say that again because I've been asked to buy a cow. So I would say Mrs. Solanke, updated edition is 20,000 naira. And while the photographs are, it's being done, yeah. After the photographs, Olibampton, we'll have the family. We will have the cutting of the cake, but we'll have the pictures first with the book. So we have the member of the family. Join me, lords, and the Honorable Attorney General for the pictures. And the members of the bench, Honorable Justices of the High Court and the Customary Court of Appeal, should please get ready to join Mama for the pictures. And after that, we'll have the members of the Inner Bar, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria here present, to join Mama for the photographs. And then the member of the executive of the Nigerian Bar Association, Ibadan branch, she'll get ready after the pictures with the Lanet Silks here present. Then we'll have senior members of the bar. Ma, SN. Members of the Inaba, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, take pictures with Mama. Mr. Bimbola.
Last night I dreamt of San Pedro.
Can we have the senior members of the bar to get ready while the executive members of the MBA Ibadan should get ready, please.
It all seems like yesterday, not far away. Tropical, the island breeze, all the nature wild and free.
Senior members of the Nigerian bar.
La isla bonita, and when the summer played, the sun would set so high, ring through my ears and sting.
Senior members of the bar. Pictures. One.
I fell in love with San Pedro. Warm wind carried on the
Past
sea.
Secretary Okelola, Mrs. Aladeni,
I prayed that the days would last. They
senior members of the bar.
tropical, the island breeze, all of nature wild and free. This is where I long to be. La isla bonita.
Exco members,
When the summer
can you get ready?
set so high, ring through my ears and sting my eyes. Your Spanish lullaby.
Exco members.
I want to be where the sun warms the sky. When it's time for siesta, you can watch them go by. Beautiful faces, no cares in this world. Where a girl loves a boy and a boy loves a girl. Last night I dreamt of San Pedro. It all seems like yesterday, not far away. Tropical, the island breeze, all of nature wild and free. This is where I long to be. La isla bonita. And when the summer played, the sun would set so high, ring through my ears and sting my eyes. Your Spanish lullaby. Tropical, the island breeze, all of nature wild and free. This is where I long to be. La isla bonita. And when the summer played, the sun would set so high, ring through my
Yeah,
ears and sting my eyes.
Senior members of the bar. Young lawyers, Exco of YLF. Chairman of FIDA and the executive of FIDA. Can you get ready? Chairman of tomorrow's FIDA committee party for Mama, Dr. Mrs. Yemisi Abimbola. Exco members of FIDA, DCRs, your worships, magistrates, should get ready. DCRs and magistrates, And people that love Mama that will want to take pictures with her, we'll have that in about 10 people each. If you love Mama and you would like a picture with Mama. In tens. Can I have a queue? We can't have Mama stand up waiting for lawyers, please. Next set of people who would like to take pictures with Mama, so get ready. Please hold on. Thank you. The next set. Next 10 people, please. The next 10 she'll get ready. Please remember that Mama is 90 and we don't want her standing on her feet for a long time. The next 10. The next 10 as well should get ready, and that will be all, please. The next 10. And the last 10. Last 10. We'll have the cutting of the cake. I think the cake is coming to where Mama is. The executive, can I have the cake moved from where it is to where Mama is? The last 10. The cake is there, and we have the cake moved here. So we don't want to stress Mama, please. Thank you. Grandma, please. Oh, yeah, we're waiting for the knife.
Very many happy returns.
And while we're waiting for the knife, we will have the cutting of the cake, and that will be directed by Honorable Justice Iyabo Yerima, and representing the Chief Judge of Oyo State, Honorable Justice Ambimbola And after that, we will have the vote of thanks. And this will be done by Dr. Lawyer Yemisi Solanke Koya. As Mama said, I should get it right. I'm getting it right. So that will be done by Sister Yemisi. And the vote of thanks will be on behalf of the Nigerian Bar Association, will be by my chairman, Mr. Abiodun Olayinka Eson, on behalf of the MBA.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. There's no doubt we're all happy to be here to celebrate our mother. And at this point, I've been called upon to officiate the cutting of the cake. We want to give God the glory for her life, and especially how she has impacted every one of us here. I wouldn't want to keep her waiting. So I'll just tell all of us to rise up on our feet to celebrate her. And one aspect of today that I found very nostalgic myself was when she was eulogizing her late father. And I was there and I was thinking about the relationship I had with my father as well. So I understood her, I was looking at her, I was very serious. So I would like to call on everybody here to join me in spelling Alabukun. And with the final N at the end of Alabukun, we'll now all say happy birthday to her. Mommy, your hand on the cake. Now, can someone give me an A? Oh, sorry. A, Li, A, B, U, Ki, U, Ni, Alabukun. Congratulations. Happy birthday! I ought to be loved again. Happy birthday! Thank you. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! In your celebration, in our mind, that there ought to be a time that we can set aside to show just how much we love you, and I'm sure you would agree. What could fit more perfectly than to have a world party on the day you came to be? Hey!
The next, we'll have the judges next. Honorable Justice. Honorable judges will dance with Mama. Pictures of the cake. The judges, followed by the Lanet Silk. Followed by the Lanet Silk. And after that, we'll have the vote of thanks by MC, Dr. Lawyer. About the FIDA lecture in honor of Chief Folake Solanke, SAN, tomorrow at 11 o'clock. It's 11 to 2 p.m. and you are all invited. We're aiming to start on time at 11 and to end at 2. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll take the vote of thanks. From the family, and then we'll take the vote of thanks from the chairman of NBA Ibadan. We'll have the closing prayer by Mrs. Drosharo Tijani. Vote of thanks from the first daughter of Mama, Dr. Lawyer Yemisi Solanke Koya.
Thank you very much. As is customary with my family, sometimes we sing rather than we speak. So this time I'm going to start this vote of thanks with a song, which is a favorite of my father and also of my mother. Àwa náà rè Olúwa, àwa náà rè Olúwa, àwa náà rè Olúwa, àwa náà rè Olúwa. Àwa dúpẹ́ oore àtọdúnmọ́dún. Àwa dúpẹ́ oore àtoṣùmọṣù. Àwa dúpẹ́ oore ìgbà gbogbo. Àwa náà rè Olúwa. Thank you for joining. On behalf of the Mosene, Odulate, Alabuku, and Solanke families, I'd like to express the profundity of our appreciation to the Nigerian Bar Association for this stupendous occasion. I know that this has resonated into the depths of my mother's soul, although I cannot see her soul, but I could see her face and her expression. I knew that she really enjoyed these proceedings. So I'd like to thank the executive members of the MBA Ibadan, who have been proclaimed the best MBA branch in the nation. I'd like to thank all members here gathered, everybody being distinguished in our sight because you took the time from your busy schedules to join us here today. We thank you very much. And our prayers are that God Almighty will bless you individually. He will shower upon you blessings from the abundance of His grace. Your courses and habitation shall be filled with joy. Your households shall rejoice, and you shall be beyond 90 and live in good health. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sir MC. Can we have my chairman, Mr. Olayinka Abiodun-Esan?
Thank you. My lords of the High Court of Oyo State, the Customary Court of Appeal of Oyo State, and the High Court of Ondo State. I thank you for honoring us. I'll say thank you and thank you all over again, because each time we call you, you honor us. And I pray that God will honor you. I pray for wisdom to discharge your duties. And on this time, it's always good to pray for good health and long life. We will pray using Mama as a point of contact. The largest senior advocates of Nigeria here present, thank you for your time. I know it is not easy to take out of your time. I appreciate being here. The registrar, the chief registrar of the High Court, from the Judicial Service Commission, from the family court, I thank you for coming. The our seniors at the bar. You are not the chairman, you are past. But in English, when we leave from present to past, the next is past participle. Bababa, the most senior past chairman here present, I recognize you. Thank you for coming. You have been here at the beginning. I thank you, Agbanya Dale. We will celebrate you too. Professor Akintayo. Thank you for coming, and thank you for all you do. Mr. Dele Akimusuti. I always comment about the embroidery on Chief Adetoye. One day, if not for the height, I'll take your apparel. Thank you. Thank you for coming. The members of the executive committee, I thank you for your support. I thank you for calling the meeting every day for a while. From the vice chairman to the person I call my little all right. I thank you all for all you have done. And all the members, I thank you for your time, for being here today. Now I go to the family. I thank you for the opportunity. It's a different ballgame. We could have called you and you say no. It is your time. For taking it is because when and even all of us. Thank you. And to Mama, I appreciate you for the grace. I was telling someone that if and she's 90 today, pray for good health. We are able to celebrate you because you, I would say, you constituted yourself into a shining example. We know what you stand for, and we pray to stand for the truth. We pray to stand for all that is good about you. I will sit. We all know. We all know. After everything, I'll thank God for giving us this opportunity, for giving our good health so that we can celebrate. I pray for health for everybody. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, my chair. We'll have Mrs. Tijani to come and give us the closing prayer in the Islamic way, and then we'll take the national anthem, and we'll call it a day.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I thank God Almighty for making this program a success, and for the celebrants. We praise God for our life, that He has considered it to spare. Pray that God Almighty continue to bestow His grace upon Mama, that the rest of her life she will not live it in sorrow. She will not bury any of her children. She will not bury any of her grandchildren. She will not die by accidents. As it pleases God to spare her life, she will continue to grow stronger. Her health will not diminish. I pray for those who have come to celebrate Mama, that God will cause all of us to be celebrated in all our endeavors and take us to the pinnacle. No priest, and we shall know. I pray. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we all rise for the national anthem?